So we left it off where we had the appearance of distinct random instances of related models through our many-to-many as well as our foreign key. Now, if we refresh several times, we see that in action on this related products. But if we go to a different product itself, we might see something a little different. So if I go to iPhone cover, I now see two items being the exact same. So charging cables hidden here twice. And if we actually look at the item ID and product detail, we would actually see product.id, we'd actually see that it is, in fact, the exact same product coming through twice. Now, this has everything to do with the combination of distinct with order by. That is something that is very unique to these two functions because they're actually different calls in the database. But I wanted to show you the two because order by on its own is actually really good if you weren't trying to use distinct with it. Once you start using distinct with it, it gets a little bit hairy, as we've seen here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this order by function and keep it like this. And what that does is it at least keeps the related products down to exactly the way we wanted it to be. But there's something a little bit further that I want to take this. And I want to introduce the sorted function that is a built-in Python function. And we can have a key in here. And this key can take a lambda value with a keyword. So I'll show you exactly what's going on here. I'll say lambda x. And I'm going to say, first off, I'll do x.title. So we're going to see what this does. If I refresh in here, I'm getting an invalid syntax. That's because this should be key equals to lambda x, not colon. And if we refresh in here, now we see that it's actually by title. So if I wanted to reverse that, now with a normal query set to reverse something, it would be order by and then the negative in front of it. So in this case, it'd be negative title. So what this right here is doing is just order by title. That's exactly what that's doing. So if I wanted to do the reverse title, I would actually have to go in here and just say reverse equals to true, and that allows it to be reversed. Now we can also do this with ID, and it might not change. By default, reverse is false. There we go. So there's actually another thing that we could do is we can actually import, again, another Python function of random. This is a Python library, that is. And there's a Python random function. So instead of using x.id, we can do random.random. And we can get rid of this reverse call. That's not necessary. So we save it, and we run it. And now every time we do some refreshing, we refresh enough, it's going to give us an actual appearance of random. Of course, like in mathematics, it's not actually purely random, but for users' perspective, this is actually pretty random. All right, so that's how we fix that issue. And there's one other thing that I mentioned that we probably won't do, but it's so easy that I'm just going to show you how to do it. And that is actually having the featured image show up on these related products. Or any product for that matter. So if we go to MP3, we'll have the featured image here. So inside of our product model, we're going to create a new instance method called define get image URL. And we're going to say, first off, I want to get the image itself or the image set itself. So I'll just say img equals to self.product image set. And then I'm just going to do dot first. So what dot first does is it actually gets the first item in that query set or none, which is really nice because that means we could do if image, then we can return img.image.url, or we can just return image, which will return none if that is none. So we can now implement this. Let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go into our product detail. And we're going to come into our if product object product image, all this stuff right here. This if and for loop, we actually don't need that anymore. It's because now what we can do is just change all of this stuff to just being if object.get image URL. Going back to our image, right? Get image URL. If that's something, not greater than 0, but just something, then we'll use it. So we can get rid of this for loop, and just put in here object.getImageURL. And now we refresh in here. Nothing actually changes here because, well, it doesn't need to. And of course, if you didn't have an image, then you might want a default image of some kind showing up. So let's go ahead and copy this specifically and go down to our related products call. And I'm going to paste this in here too and just change object to product. And we'll say if product got image URL, we'll do that. Otherwise, we'll just say else, and we'll go to product title. So end if. So if it doesn't have an image, then it's going to go to product title. And I'll get rid of these div classes right here and just put a break after. And we refresh in here. And now if I'll see actual images for the various products. Of course, we could clean that up, but I'm going to leave it like that for now, which is pretty cool. So if you have any questions on this, let us know. Otherwise, let's keep going.